Cast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, traders. Welcome to the Bookmap Platform Details webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap. Risk disclaimer: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, so what we're going to do in the webinar, we're going to go through actually the new bookmap.com website, and we're going to define some of the elements here for you. Define what Bookmap is, how you connect Bookmap, how you get Bookmap, and then we're going to jump into the user interface and look at the live market and start to define the elements on the chart there. Okay, it's just three elements that we're going to look at. It's the really the heart and soul of Bookmap, and then we're going to start to look at some of the basic order flow. Okay, so now Bookmap, when you subscribe to it, it comes with education. Okay, there's a 4-part educational course, and you can access that at any time. And then immediately following this webinar at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, there's another webinar, and that is the Advanced Order Flow webinar. Okay, in that webinar, we go through advanced concepts in the order flow. We don't talk so much about the platform and its and the different features. Users have moved beyond that. They're much more advanced. They're looking at order flow. They want to understand better how Bookmap is visualizing it and how to analyze the order flow, and then how, due to that analysis, we start to anticipate where price is going to go based on the analysis. So anyway, that's what we do in that second webinar. The whole idea here is that you have an educational course that you can always refer to, and then you have the advanced webinars that are daily. They go for about an hour, and they go over that same course content, but in the live market. So then you can see it in the live market, and you can start to anticipate where price is going to go. All right, so that's the education. Let's jump into that new bookmap.com website. Here it is, and we'll just scroll down through it. Very clean and clear here. Starts to find what Bookmap is, and here it is. It's a trading data visualization platform offering complete depth of market transparency for futures, U.S. equities, and digital currencies. There's a video here to watch. It's a couple minutes long. It's the intro video. Let's continue to scroll down. Who uses Bookmap? We go over that. Swing traders, day traders, scalpers, quants, algos, algo quants, and HFT traders as well. Okay, so if you have questions about that, like you're a swing trader and you're looking to hold for several days, well, I mean, there's some data today we can go over. So let me know. Day traders and scalpers, there's all sorts of stuff to take a look at. And that's usually what we go over in the advanced webinars. Let's go down a bit further. This is how you're going to get the edge. It's with the liquidity heat map, the volume, and then being able to optimize your trades. Okay, proprietary indicators, automated strategies, record and replay for debriefing your trading, and then obviously a very, very high performance platform. Okay, all right, connectivity. So we've defined what Bookmap is. Let's go over now connectivity. This is how you connect to these three different markets: futures, equities, and digital currencies. Now, for the digital currencies, the connection is free. Okay, right now it's only for the GDAX exchange. It's just going to be in another few weeks, waiting for the release that you'll be able to connect to BitMEX, OKCoin, and I think a few others as well. Okay, so anyway, that's the digital currencies. For futures and for U.S. equities, you will need to provide the data. Okay, because we're software. We're not a data provider. We're not a broker. So this is how you connect using Rhythmic, CQG, Gain Capital, Transact, IQ Feed, interactive brokers. Now, there's a few different platforms up here as well, like TTX Trader Pro, Ninja Trader, and Interactive Brokers Traders Workstation. We connect via the API of those platforms. Okay, but it's better to connect directly to the data provider like Rhythmic or CQG and the others here. Okay, but it's just cleaner, it's better. You don't go through another program. You go directly from the source of the data. Okay, now if you need a data feed, you can click here and get a few demos are available there. And there's also for U.S. equities as well. And I think that information is not listed here. Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, you can also connect to the equities. I think we maybe need to go over here. Exchanges. Okay, yeah, NASDAQ. Okay, so you can get Bookmap for U.S. equities through NASDAQ Total View. It's through DX Feed. That's the data provider, and it's a great feed. You can get NASDAQ Total View and BATS, or you know, one or the other, or both together, and then start to look at some equities. If you guys trade equities, let me know. We can take a look at some. So just let me know. Okay, let's get down and into the pricing and packages. So now we know what Bookmap is, we know how to connect it, and then these are the different versions that are available. Okay, you can see that we have digital versions here and then global versions. JPVXX, unfortunately I don't have that loaded, but I can add it now and take a look here. Let's try to add it. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna have to get rid of one here. Let's get rid of JPM. I'll add VXX. Okay, so I won't have a lot of data for it, JP, but we can always, you know, wait for a bit and then come back and take a look at it, okay? So just remind me about that. Anyway, this is how you subscribe to the different versions here of Bookmap. So like I mentioned, the digital version here, this is free, okay? So you can connect always to a live market and you can go check it out. Okay, it's only one digital currency. You don't get full support. You don't get the advanced education. It's just so you can check it out, right? That's what the whole goal is here. The data is free, so you know I know it's a digital currency, but you can still see what Bookmap is displaying. Now, if you're interested in the futures, well, then you're going to go for the global version or the global plus version, all right? Or U.S. equities. And just subscribe for a month. That would be probably the cheapest way to check it out. And you can always cancel at any time. Now let's just go over that digital plus version. This is, again, just for digital currencies, but you get the connection to the GDAX exchange. The data is free. You can trade right from the Bookmap chart into your live GDAX account. It's full depth of market. You can also record and replay. You get the full education and full support. Okay, now the difference with that global version here is that it includes everything in Digital Plus, but you also get the ability to connect to the futures and U.S. equities. The only distinction is, though, is that you need to provide the data for those instruments for the futures and U.S. equities, all right? Connecting the way we just covered. The Global Plus version, the difference here is the add-on indicators, our proprietary indicators that look at specific order flow phenomena in the markets. Okay, so if you want to know more about those, we can go over them. But we look at larger players with the large lot tracker, same with iceberg tracker. looking for those larger players. We have some imbalance indicators. You can trade right from the Bookmap chart as well. And then correlated markets can be added onto the Bookmap chart. Okay, so that's how you can get Bookmap. Just a few more references here. We have the at bookmap_pro, so you can always check out latest info here of what's going on in our Twitter feed, and then our YouTube page here. There's a lot of videos and playlists here on the home page. Some intro videos if you're new, features and components if you want to know more about Bookmap, how it works, and then order flow video snippets. I would highly recommend that you watch as many of these as you can. This is how you're going to understand what Bookmap is displaying and how to take advantage of its visualization. It's displaying something very unique that other platforms aren't really showing, and this is where you're going to get the advantage. Okay, so anyway, let's move on into Bookmap and take a look and see what's going on. Very bullish today from the very beginning. And we're looking at the NASDAQ E-mini here, and we will jump over though, and JP requested VXX, so we'll take a look at that as well. Anyway, what are we looking at here? Looks like a lot of different noise and action. Maybe it's a little overwhelming if you haven't seen this chart before. It's really straightforward data. It's very, very simple and very objective. There's no sort of derivative here of time, price, or volume. Most of the indicators that we access for decades now are all derivatives, and they lag. There's nothing lagging here whatsoever. It's just three elements on this Bookmap chart. One is current and historical best bid and offer. That's it. And then we see the volume dots here. These dots here are the transactions that took place on that historical best bid and offer. Okay, and then the final element on the Bookmap chart is the heat map. Okay, and this orangish, yellow, blue heat map here, all this is showing you the auction. It's your depth of market. It's taking your dome, recording it, and plotting it onto the chart in a heat map form. And that's it. So now you can see where that high liquidity is. Now you can use your dome on much higher time frames. So you can really start to understand what's going on in the auction, not only in the current market, which usually is the dome is used for the current market. Okay, now we can use it for the historical. I'm seeing all sorts of great stuff here already. There's something called a book flip. It's a breakout above this area here at 73.35. Look how there's very high liquidity here, okay, on the offer. There's also high liquidity down here on the bid. Well, we broke out of that range. Now look how they were on the offer over here, and they flipped to the bid side. Okay, there's pretty high probability we're going to accept above this area here. Now we'll see, maybe they'll pull this liquidity, but so far, so good. And this is how you can start to understand areas of support and resistance and how they're lining up to provide liquidity in those areas. Okay, it doesn't really get much better than that. I mean, very, very clear here. High liquidity on the offer, trades up and through on size, on volume here. You can see the large volume dots, large transactions taking place. Pretty big move from 35 up to about 46, so over 10 points. And then they're down here on the bid. They want to be buyers now at this higher level. Okay, so what was resistance up here is now support. Okay, I really don't like to cover Bookmap and liquidity as support and resistance, but it fits the bill here. I mean, you would look at the swing high here as your resistance, and then this broke out from it, and then you'd be looking at some of your swing lows here as maybe some resistance here. Anyway, this is where they're lined up to bid, and we're just testing into them now. Now, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. we also have some other elements on the chart. We have a historical VWAP here. We have a point of control indicator. We have a cumulative volume delta down here. I'm going to close all of those up. These are just some of the add-ons that you can get access to. And we also have our iceberg detector. I'm going to turn that off as well. And just look at these three elements. Okay, so that's what we're looking at. That's what we're going to define here, and that's what we're going to analyze in the order flow. Okay, so all right, one distinction here. This vertical white line here divides the historical chart from the current market. Okay, so everything to the left is historical. Everything current is to the right of it here. So let's zoom into this area here. Okay, and we can see that this is the dashed red line is our best offer. Dashed green line is the best bid. And then we have the price ladder here. This is our last traded volume here on the price ladder. And then you can see the depth of market here. These numbers here in the COB column, which stands for current order book, these are contracts. All right, let's zoom in a little bit more. Okay, and take a look at all of them here. These are contracts. These are sellers. They're limit orders. They're lined up providing liquidity at these specific price levels. This is where they want to deal. Okay, down here they're on the bid. Okay, pretty high liquidity down here at 36. Okay, that's what we were just looking at. Okay, well, it looks like we're pretty poised to test right into it. There we go. We just did. And it looks like we're going to come down and even test 34 now. To be honest. Let's zoom in. Why do I think that? Well, we need to see a little bit of follow through here, but they started to, well, did they pull or not? Okay, so let's see here. Yeah, we had 62 contracts here, and then it traded into it here. Yeah, it looks like 67 actually traded in the end. They started to pull some of that liquidity as well, right? So they're not so interested. That's kind of bearish here. So, and you can see that we're following through to the downside. Okay, now buyers might come in. We're at the level where they might start to jump in on the aggressive side here and lift the offer. But the liquidity is down here at 34. Okay, almost 100 contracts are down here at 34. Okay, that would be the next target. All right, if we don't see the buyers come in here. Okay, so we know the heat map. Let me go over the heat map again. What we're looking at in the heat map is these areas of high liquidity in this window here. These numeric values are turned into a graphical heat map. Okay, so high liquidity is this reddish orangish color here. The scale is up here. You have that reddish orangish area as high liquidity, then yellow, then white, then blue, and then black as low liquidity. Highest in the book is clearly right in front of us here at 34. Okay, we zoom out a little bit more, we can see that they're up here on the offer with 59 contracts up here at 47. Okay, now you can scale this heat map in any way that you like to look at more or less data. I've got it pretty sparse right now, but anyway, I like the setting so far. It's giving me pretty good info. All right, here comes our test. Let's see if we get our test into 34 here. It looks pretty good. What we do though is we take the data here once it's graphical, and then we can transpose it on the chart historically. So now you can see the recording here of the bidding and offering that takes place in your depth of market. Right? So we can understand that this high liquidity here, well, did they really want to trade? And the answer is no, because they pulled it away, right in this area here. Okay, we see them adding in here when the heat map color changed, and then it got dark here. Okay, so they pulled, and we just noticed this other area here. Some of it traded, some of it was pulled, so they're not so interested here either. Okay, but they seem pretty interested here at 34. Okay, let's zoom in and let's make that distinction. Okay, was this real liquidity? Absolutely. Okay, 83 contracts traded out of those Well, they started pulling. It was about 85 contracts in this area here. Okay, so yeah, these guys got filled. These guys are now long here. They waited for it. They're long. Okay, did we see sellers come through and pull through this area? Yeah, they did actually. Not by much, by a little bit there. If we see some more selling action here, the next target would be down here at 31. Okay, because that's where the liquidity is. Okay, and we need to see sellers though down in this area here for this to pull through and to come down and test these lower areas. Okay. On the other hand, though, we need to be also very attentive here because these guys are filled. It looks like they're kind of, we noticed this earlier, some of it pulled, some of it traded in this area here. So they're starting to get into the market here, layer into the market here as buyers. Okay. What's going to happen at some point, if they continue to do that and they still have more limit orders than there is selling pressure, it's going to absorb all of the selling pressure and buyers are going to step in like this here, and we're going to come up and we're going to test some of the higher areas of liquidity on the offer, and the target would be here at 73.40. Okay, the very, very basic understanding of an auction, the players involved, the aggressor, and then the high areas of high liquidity. Okay, so we saw that. We saw this unfold here. We were targeting these areas. Okay, and then we're noticing that the larger players are filled. Okay, so we're starting to even look for this, anticipate this kind of movement here to the upside. Now, you know, was this a lot of buying? It's not so bad. I mean, compared to some of the other volume dots and transactions over here. But, you know, we might get another dip back down here. Let's see if we get a retest back down into this area here at 36. And let's see if the buyers step in again. Okay, if they don't, okay, you know, we came to the swing here and it rejected. It's come back into the range. Well, we can come back down and test into 32 and 31 down here. Okay, let's see if the buyers support this here. I imagine they're going to. We're going to see something and probably get a test back up to at least 39, maybe 40 here. Okay, because that's a nice little cluster of some buying there. Okay, and in fact, this is what you'd be looking at in your footprint chart. Just same thing here, looking in Bookmap here. It's exactly the same details here. Now, we have advantages over the footprint chart, though, and that is the data that's being displayed here is you can see the quickness of these moves. Your footprint chart is going to be aggregated within a bar. Okay, so we can turn on candlestick chart, for example. Yeah, here's your footprint chart. You know, it's going to be this bar that's forming right now. But you'll see the numbers here, like kind of in the middle of the bar. You'd be looking for a pullback to that area here because of the high volume. But we're looking at so much more data here, so much more insight, understanding that this was a little consolidation area, a little microstructural area here, and it broke out again to the upside. This is like a little bear flag or a bull flag, etc. JP, okay, VXX, yep. Let's take a quick look here. You jumped out of the webinar, so I see you're back in. So I thought, well, maybe I'd just go over this little pullback here. All right, let's take a quick look here. Now, if the one note here, if the buyers don't start to accept this and trade it higher, it looks like they're not. Like I said, we're coming down into these other lower areas here. Okay? And look at the offer. Okay? Look at these areas here. They started to add more liquidity at 73.40 and then at 38.5 as well. And we found some sellers. Okay, so we're not out of the woods yet, right? But we did note the absorption, and we also noted the test up here, and we're starting to find some buyers. Okay, so we're just noting some of that. Let's see here, Jim. Okay, let me answer your question, then we'll go take a look at this VXX. Oh, okay. Yeah, Jim, if yeah, you subscribe, then you should be able to. I don't have the link here for you at the moment. What you could do though is you can log into bookmap.com and you'll see a webinar link there on the left in the left margin, and then you can click on that and register for the advanced order flow webinar that starts in about 4 minutes here. Okay. All right, VXX. You're welcome. You're welcome, Jim. Let's take a quick look. Okay. Good stuff. Well, yeah, pretty back and forth here, which is kind of interesting. I thought this would be pretty trending to the downside. Instead, you just see it really going back and forth here. But nonetheless, like you can see the areas of liquidity here. Okay, I like it up here. This looks pretty good. I like it because the swing is up here, and then the markets are going up, so I would anticipate this to go down. This is a fantastic entry if you can get in here, and then looking for it to at least come back down to the swing here, and then target would be perfect here at this 32.23 area here. Note the larger player down here pulled and added higher. Okay, so you can start to read the individual players with their high liquidity here. Yeah, anyway, that's what I see. Pull back all the way back up here again could offer you, if you're still bearish here, could offer you another nice little entry up into this area here, this little cluster, and then short it back down into the range. Okay. And not seeing a lot really. This is an excellent one though to add to your as a correlated market. Okay, so let's go back to our NASDAQ, and what you can do. And let me get this candlestick chart off here. Okay, is add correlated market. Where's my correlation tracker? Turn that on here. Click on the button. Let's add one. And I'm looking at, whoops, VXX. It'll be, let's make it this green color. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's negatively correlated, of course. So have to kind of zoom a little bit here. Well, anyway, this would be a nice thing to take a look at. You can also, what you could do as well, if you want to look at both charts at the same time, is double click on the VXX here. It'll pop the chart out. You can put this on another monitor, for example, and then you can take a look at your correlated market or inversely correlated market and the index that or instrument that you're trading here. If you want to pop it back into the lineup here of the tabs, just close it here and it'll come back in here. Okay. All right, guys. Well, let's wrap it up. Jim, let me know. Yeah, let me know if you got in or not and signed up for it. And I'll see you in the next webinar. Okay, great. You're all set. Okay. All right. We'll see you guys in another minute here. Else, we'll catch up with you tomorrow. I will pass out the link to you guys tomorrow for on Friday. We give access to the advanced order flow webinar, so you can go through and see what we look at and get a taste of the education that we provide along with the software. Okay, so we won't leave you hanging. You'll understand what you're looking at and be able to start to learn and read order flow like a pro. Okay. All right, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.